Good evening, Seb here. Day 11 of our fundamentals days. We are practicing some hand muscles today. Hands, if you've been watching along, it's a bit of a difficult one for me, but we're going to get in it straight away today, and we're going to focus on the actual muscles rather than the hand itself. If you don't know what we're doing, we're kind of breaking this down. At first we did the skeleton, now we're going to do more of the muscles, and then we're also going to practice some of the actual hands itself. I'm just getting what's under there into my head so that I can know when it comes to actually drawing the hand itself. So as you can see, mic situation's different. This little mic, as much as I absolutely love it for its convenience, I recorded a nice little talk for you guys recently, and it screwed up, and it's been doing it every single time I record these videos. There's just a portion which I have to cut out because I don't know why, but it happens. I've contacted the people I bought them off, see if I can get maybe a new one sent or something. But yeah, man, I'm very disappointed. But back to the good old wires. I'm sure they won't let me down. Sometimes you just got to go back to wired. I guess everything's going wireless now, but we're going back to wired. Anyway, enough faffling about. Let's get straight to it. I've got the references. Be sure if you're going to join in to look at them. I have them down in the description below. They're on Pinterest, for those of you who don't know. And yeah, let's get right into it. Right. I hope this microphone setup works well. I've got it kind of clipped over here to this arm. I've got some water here because my voice always tends to crack. So it's good that I stay hydrated, I guess. Right, hands. Today we're focusing on the hands. Just so I can zoom this in a little bit. Got my monitor here. The hands. Now, I'm particularly a bit worried about this one. I feel like I might screw it up a little bit more than usual here, but you know what? Let's just see where it goes. We will absolutely see. First of all, not going to make the mistake that I always make. I'm going to sort of plan this out a little bit more, just so that I am not just so I don't run out of space afterwards. I tend to do that a lot, and in general this is something I do with my drawings. I will tend to draw this out, especially with the hands. I'll draw almost a stick figure version of this hand. By the way, what were we using today? It's a 2B sketching pencil from W.H. Smith's. It's old. I don't know what's happened here. I think it's... Oh yeah, this is from my sharpener. My sharpener likes to dig into these pencils a little bit. But just in case you guys are wondering, this is what I'm using. This is still from the UK and it is very old. I haven't upgraded it, I guess. Well, I just haven't used it enough. I've focused on using other pencils. Right, with the muscles, we know it's going to get complicated in here because there's just a lot going on. So, I'm just going to take my time and slowly fill in some of these lines as we go along. And if you are going along to this, I'll have the reference obviously up here in the screen, and also check it out in the description below. It will be on my Pinterest board. I have a board of all the references that we use here, plus some more, just in case you guys want to use it. I also noticed that the mic might pick up my voice a little bit differently based on where I'm looking, because I no longer have the other mic working the same way as it was before. So please bear that in mind if the audio is going a bit weird. I know that audio is quite important when it comes to this because you guys are obviously listening to me talk, so I do want to make sure that it is alright. Let's try try and sort of block these fingers in just so we are a little bit more aware of what we're doing here. I just realized I'm actually drawing completely just by looking at the screen of my phone. That's not something I've done before. Let's see. We're still kind of running out of space as usual, because we know that the two middle fingers are actually longer than the index and the pinky finger. Don't know the scientific term for the pinky finger, but let's grab the focus on here. Make sure it's locked into place. This reference actually isn't particularly amazing. I did find one which is, in my opinion, awesome, but it doesn't actually show the muscles under the hand here. So let's just focus on what we can, get this in. And I'm also going to try and measure up the proportions. So we know the thumb is ending around here, so... And for those of you who don't know, the reason I'm turning my head is because my monitor's over to the side. If I had a printer, I would print these references off and stick them on over here. That would be a lot easier. Might start using something for that. Alright. See, this one's not going to be easy. I already do not like the way this is going. I think this hand's looking a bit weird. But you know what? That will come in time. Let's see. We've got that happening here. I was really annoyed at the audio issue with the previous video that I recorded, because I actually really liked what I talked about in it. It was about simplifying things, and just so you guys know, I will be re-recording it, but I was happy with what I said at the time, and I hope that I say the same stuff. I'm not going to be making a script for it or anything, because I want it to be more natural. I don't want it to be scripted. I just want to talk about what's on my head, and that's what was on my head at the time, so now it's going to be a little bit different, but hey, you know, we try our best. Sometimes it's not our fault. Right, so with this reference, the way it's working is we have the actual finger here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this in. I'm probably going to try and stop looking at my phone, because I feel like this is going to come out weird if I keep looking at my phone. Right, let's fill in the pinky. It's important to remember that these fingers do actually have 3 connecting points rather than 2. Usually in cartoons we see that they have 2. So I'm going to try and put those in. It's not very clear from this reference where all of this happens, but that's what I get for choosing a reference like this. I thought it was going to be pretty good when it comes to the actual anatomy of these, but I'm not actually enjoying this reference at all. But sometimes we just gotta suck it up. Maybe this is the reference I need to learn for my hands to improve. Who knows? Right now they look a little bit sausagey, so... It's been a great Saturday so far. I do want to talk about that. We went to a lovely flower, market festival thing in our local town, and we picked up a new flower, or plant, I guess, not flower, it was a plant festival. Picked up a new one. It looks really cool. And in general, the actual event was nice to look at. And I would actually recommend stuff like this for artists. You know, go out there, go into events like that. You can take a lot of inspiration from nature when it comes to drawing. So going to something like that can be very beneficial. Let's see. This webs out to all the fingers, so I've got to keep that in mind. That over here, and then another two go over here. I feel like this part's important. I don't know if this is what I'm looking at here or if these are the bones, but we often see this on our hands, so it's quite nice to know where they actually are. This is giving me similar vibes to the ribs when we were doing that, especially with the difficulty of it. I have been wondering recently if I'm starting with the right stuff to be learning here, because we're kind of jumping in at the deep end in terms of like the difficulty of these things. I feel like maybe if we just focused on drawing what we see, you know, of the hand or of any body part that we've been doing, that would, you know, be more beneficial. But maybe learning this stuff like properly like this is the way to go. I don't really know. You know, it's been a bit of a weird thing that I've been asking myself lately. I've been wondering whether it's been a good idea to go into all these muscles, and whether it's really necessary for me to be able to draw a hand really well. Like, we might be doing 20% of the work here that's not going to get us... No, sorry, the 80% of the work that's not going to get us more than 20% of results. Yeah, that's how that rule works. But you know what? I'm still glad we're doing it, because it's a challenge, and if we put ourselves through more of these challenges, then I think that will help our art become a lot better. But also, this sucks. Yeah, you know what? There's a little bug here. Oh god. Ow. Alright. We've been attacked. Alright, well, where was I? Bug caught me off track. Right, yes. So here... I've actually started to confuse myself with what's going on here. I'm just gonna try and get back on here. See, now I'm wondering whether I should stop this video and try again, but maybe sometimes it's good to show the fact that it's not always easy. It can be a bit of a struggle, and it does take longer to get somewhere. I'm thinking, what can we do to help ourselves in this situation? I think we'll leave this bit for now and we'll focus on the thumb. Make sure that that's looking good. We'll leave that and then we'll come back to it, and then we'll figure out how to present this properly with the actual thumb here. So I'm gonna cut this away like it is on the reference picture. And let's go in here. See, what have I done here? I think I may have screwed up the placement of this. Not to worry, that's why erasers exist. I've got something on my fingers. Alright, I think the bone is more over here, and then that goes into this shape, and then there's another bone here. See, I guess, yeah, because we've got the bone here and then the bone there. That's how this is working, so I'll kind of highlight them for myself. And then we'll see it where these tendons, I believe they are. I'm going to highlight them here. And then what I'm going to do next to help myself visually, because this is what I'm struggling with right now, is with the fact that I'm talking and not being able to fully like concentrate on this. The thing I'm struggling with is actually understanding where I am. So I'm almost like losing the path. So what I'm going to do is just lightly shade this in. And I suggest you do the same if it's a little bit too complicated for you. And just shade these bits in, and I'm sure that will help out a little bit at least. Then we've got this bit uncovering here. We can see the muscle going in over here. The muscles, we're going to obviously try and show them through using the lines that the muscles are built up from. So we've got that there, and for some reason the muscle already ends here, and there's something else going on there, which is, I believe that's the bone. So we can stop that there. We know this is the muscle because we've tried to show that as much as we can. And then go back into the finger here, showcase the bone over here. And then this is like the fatty tissue here. Oh, I've accidentally bumped camera with my hat. Might as well take it off. I'm gonna fill this in just so we have it out of the way. And then just put this in here. Alright, yep, we're kinda getting there. If you are struggling with this, do slow down a little bit. For some reason, I'm rushing against the time, but I think I'm just gonna let myself calm down a little bit and just make sure I get this right. Do not want to make anything bad here. We can always slow down a little bit. We can see there's another tendon somewhere over here. I'm gonna just make this darker. And then another one that's going over here. Make that darker. And yeah. I've got this, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna call it a wristband. He's got a little wristband on. See, we're not fully trying to learn this technically, like knowing the names and all that. This isn't biology. But, I mean, it would be useful to know these, but I think we're already putting a lot of effort into this here, like learning this. It's not an easy task, so let's just leave that for another time. We can always come back. This is slightly transparent, but I'm not gonna let that intervene here. Alright, let's go back to the muscle here. We can see that the muscle in this area, I may have slightly made it a little bit too long because see that that's going on. Let me correct myself a little bit. I've got a muscle that kind of does this here, and then that connects over here and over here. And this muscle actually does not go that way. It goes this way. Alright, we're slightly getting there, slightly trying to fill this in. If this looks confusing to you, do not worry, it looks confusing to me as well. I think the hand just is a very confusing thing. This is why I was dreading this video a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. This has been a bit of a difficult topic. But we push on, we keep going, and we get the results that we need. Let's lift this up for you guys a little bit. For the next video I'm gonna tape this down. Actually, and with the power of stopping and starting the video again, I have taped it down. Right, back to the hard work. Let's see. Alright, so from what I can see here, this goes all the way down to the bottom of the finger. I think this connects to, yeah, it actually goes to the middle of the finger rather than the bottom. This reference is a little bit strange. I don't know. I should maybe set the middles of these fingers just so I know roughly where we're putting these. I do hope that this audio is going to sound good. I'm always worried that it's not going to turn out the way I want it to. I did want to do a proper test, but I didn't have too much time to get this recorded today, because I want to record another video after this. So I do want to focus on that a little bit as well. Right. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. With this reference, we've got an actual cutaway here of like the skin. What's going on here? Again, I'm gonna admit to it. I don't think I found the best reference to use today. So if you do want to find a different one to try and practice this, go ahead. I will have some other references in there for you guys to try. So that's another thing you can do. You can try a different one and just ignore this reference and just go along with your own speed. But you can always try and do what I'm doing, more or less. Alright, yeah, no, this is... Okay, this is the information I'm getting from the reference, so this is what I'm going to leave it at. So we've got the tendon connecting to here, or I hope these are tendons, because I keep saying tendon, but I don't know if they are. Then this one connects to this one. I'm going to rub this out so I've got a clean canvas. Sometimes it's way better to start on a clean canvas than it is to continue in the mess you've made, or I've made in this occasion. It will make my life a lot easier if I just rub this out. Right. God. Yeah, this is a struggle, man. But I should stop complaining. Alright, I think we've got that about right. That connects to here. And then this connects to there. I'm going to do a rough line just so I know what I'm doing here. And let's focus on the inside of the finger first. Let's not rush this. I'm going to do a slight bulge where the bone is. Then we're going to go further. Do the finger here. Cool. That's going off the screen again. Just scroll it down a little bit. There you go. Now you can see. Then going over here with these. This is where we start with kind of putting in the bone. Cool. I'm going to highlight where the actual bone is, just for us. And the finger cuts off again here in the reference. So we're going to fill that in. Let's see. Doing the same thing here again. It's funny because I wanted to do 2 of these this video. I do not think that's going to be possible with the time. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it. Maybe I should be taking the approach that I tend to preach more, which is we just put in what we need, the information we need, and leave the rest. I can see that there's a muscle connecting to this here. So this here is a muscle which we can barely see in the chaos that's going on with this hand. I can assure you that next episode we're going to focus on the actual just hand, because I think that's going to be much more beneficial for us to practice. You can see that this goes on to another highway, connects over here, got a little bit of a split here, and a little bit of a split there. This is where the muscles are, so I'm going to highlight that some way. And then we've got another connecting point here. Let's get the line work of this here done. just like with the previous one. Okay, got the finger more or less. Then we'll put this one in here. Cool. I do apologize if there's more silence in this one. I am really trying to focus here, and it's just what we tend to do when we come along something that's a little bit more complicated. It becomes way more of a challenge to speak about this and draw at the same time, but this is the reason I'm doing this. It's something I wish to get better at, and it's not just me getting better at drawing here. I've set myself a goal that I wish to become better at speaking, thus becoming better sharing information with you guys. I am breaking down my fundamentals of creating YouTube videos too. So it's not just art, it's also these fundamentals. Because as you'll hear in the talk I want to do, or I've done, I don't know if I'm going to try and salvage that one that I did, but I talked about simplifying things. And I think in that I also mean simplifying what we learn and going back to basics a little bit. Because if we go back to the basics and we learn the basics to the best of our ability, that's how professionals are born. The professionals are the people who know the basics in and out. Like that saying, knowing the back of your own hand. They know it completely in and out. Every single aspect of it perfectly. And that's what makes them pros. It's not some complex thing that you saw online that everyone wants you to learn now. No, it's the basics. It really is learning all of the basics to the best of your ability and mastering them. That's what makes professionals. So this is what I want to do here, and generally just something that I want to do in my life. I want to hunker down on the basics, and I want to become really damn good at them, to the point where I can consider myself a proper professional at them. Like I said, with everything. So all of this is a challenge, but it's good to challenge yourself. It's good that we take these moments in our life and we learn something new. Because I don't know about you, but I always want to be learning. I really do. I always want to learn something new. Because that is when everything is the most fun. That's when everything just clicks. Well, it doesn't always click, because obviously you've got a lot of work to put in, and it's a struggle often. I do not know what happened with that pencil. It got really scratchy there. I've got a lot of effort to put in, a lot of knowledge to acquire. But that's what makes it fun. What is up with this? God. Oh, that is terrible. I apologize for that if you can hear that. Yeah, no. Putting in effort and learning things, it's a good experience, man. Right. Do you know what? Do you see that? It is starting to come together. Oh, no. What have you done? Just as I said that, I screw it up. No, this was a tendon. This is where we wanted this. I'm gonna make these bits a little bit darker so we kind of know what's going on in here. But yeah, that is, if anything, I think it was great to learn how to draw shapes like this because these are very organic, natural shapes that will most likely come up in our drawings before. Oh man, no, this pencil sucks. That is the last time you'll see me using this pencil. It is very scratchy. Oh god. Just to go over some of this stuff. But yeah, you know what? We've definitely gone over the time limit in this one, but hey, you know what? Sometimes it's necessary. Let's have a look at this real quick so you guys can see it properly. And yeah, that is the hand. Let's go talk about it. Right, guys. That was a hard one. I'm not gonna lie. I found that one challenging. I still think we got quite a nice job done. I mean, I've taped it down, but I think it was still fairly successful, even though it was a difficult one. And like I said, the next time I'm going to be revisiting this by just practicing hands in general. I think I want to get a little bit of that genuine, like, just many hands on a page sort of practice, if that makes sense to you guys. Rather than focusing on all of those inner muscles there. I do have another reference that I definitely want to draw, so this may end up being a couple part series again, just like the arms one, which the arms one will in itself will be more parts again. We're going to revisit these things all the time. It's part of learning, you know. And the more we do this, the better it will be at the end, and the happier we will be with it. So on that note, I hope you guys were able to produce something that you're happy with as well. And if it didn't work out first time, don't be hard on yourself. It really does happen. Like I said, this was a hard one. And even I'm not 1,000% happy with this result. But that's practice. It's not always going to come out like looking perfect. I've actually been fairly lucky with the previous pieces that they've actually turned out pretty well. But, you know, it doesn't always come out well. But that's why we keep doing it, because the next time is going to be a little bit better. So, on that note, I hope you had a good day. I hope you've had a good practice with this, and if you followed along. Remember, links for everything are in the description. I hope you have a wonderful day. That's about it.